Good morning everyone. My name is Anuja Shrivastava from Maa Kalyanika Public School, Pendra Road, Chhattisgarh. Now, I am going to take your biology of class 8th. So before beginning with the chapter, just discuss about the things. You are coming to school from your house and then again going back to your home from school to the house. So there is a transport which helps to bring you in the school. That means there is something through which you are coming to school and through which you are going from the school. So that thing is known as the transport. Similarly, the transport is also there in the living beings, whether they are plants and they are animals. So you are just think and you can ask why the transportation is necessary and what is transportation. So in your class 8 we have to start the transportation of materials in plants. Before starting this chapter, I would like to ask something to you. You are just thinking, when you are planting the tree and you are watering water, you are just water the plant in the roots. So how that water is moving from soil to the upper part of the plant. That means you are watering water in the roots in the soil, but that water moves in all the parts of plant. So how this process happened? So that process is happened by the transportation. That means there is a complete system in plants that helps in the transportation. And in class 7 you were earlier studied in the tissue chapter, the transportation and the tissue which helps in the transportation. So let's write the name of the chapter, transportation of materials in plant. Now, as I told you, in the plants plants need minerals and water from the soil to the other part. So how this transportation occur and whatever the process is required, that we will study in this chapter. So first the things come in minds, that what is transportation? What is transportation? So similarly you can say, as your basic knowledge, the movement of substance from one part to the another is known as the transportation. And we are studying the transportation of materials in plants, so we can easily say the transportation of substance from one part of plant to another is called transportation. Now, how this transportation occur inside the plants? As you see at your home, the submersibles are there, and you are just going to switch on the motor, and the water is fills in your tank, which is kept in the above side of your house. But there is no machinery which is going to on when we are going to switch on the switch. That's why this complete function in plant is performed by the two tissues, and that tissue is known as the conducting tissues. Okay, so we are going to study about the complete process of conducting tissue and how this conduction occurs step-wise step in the plants, that we will also study. But before start the conduction, just look at the structure of the root and root hair. So the another topic is structure of root and root hair. So what is the structure of root? You all have seen the root. So when you are just observing the root, you are just thinking this type of structure is there. This is the root. But this root you are just observing from the outside. But when we are going to cut the section of the root, that means when we cut the root in this way and then we observe it in under the microscope, then a complex structure of root will be there. I already draw the diagram here. This is the structure of root. Okay, so I am going to explain what is the structure of root and whatever the parts are present in the root that makes the complete root. So the first and part is the epidermis. This part, this is called the epidermis, that is the outer layer of the root. This epidermis, it is having the root hair-like structure extending outside. Some hair-like structures are extending outside and that structures are root hairs. And why these root hairs are present? Because it helps in the absorption. What So this is the outer layer. You just observe this layer. This is called the epidermis. That means outer layer of the root. From this epidermis, some hair-like projections are there. Just observe this. This hair-like structure, these are unicellular structures and they are having cytoplasm and large amount of vacuoles through which they helps in the absorption. That means absorption is mainly done by the root hairs. Now the epidermis layer, this layer is followed by the thin and loosely packed cells which is known as the cortex. That means this is the loosely packed cells and it forms a layer of cortex. After the layer of cortex, one pink color, just observe here, pink color units of cells is there. These cells are known as the endodermis. That means the inner layer of cell. Just after the endodermis, again one white color cells you are going to observe. These cells are known as the pericycle. And after the pericycle, the main functional unit is here. that is the conducting unit. Here xylem and phloem is present. That means the pericycle, it is followed by the xylem and the phloem. These structures are known as the xylem and these structures are known as the phloem, and this is the main unit which helps in the conduction. This xylem and phloem, it is known as conducting tissue. It is also known as vascular bundle. What it is also known as? Vascular bundle. It is also known as conducting tissue. Okay. Now, I think you all understand about the structure of the root and root hair and how it's participate in the transportation, and it is very necessary to understand the structure of the root because it is the main part from where the absorption is started. Now just start the main topic for which we are going to study this chapter. The main topic is the conducting tissue. In class 7th, you were earlier studied about the conducting tissue and whatever the parts which makes the conducting tissue. This is also known as the complex tissue. One question is there in your class. Now, what is conducting tissue? Because this tissue, this conducting tissue is made up of different types of cells which perform the different functions. That's why it is the complex tissue also. Now, there is two conducting tissue which helps in the transportation of materials in the plants, and that two conducting tissues are xylem and second one is the phloem. Now, I think you just recall the name when you just see the names xylem and phloem. As I already told you, xylem, it helps in the conduction of water. And the phloem, it helps in the conduction of food materials or substances. And you know why these two tissues are there? Because plants need water and minerals as well as the food which is prepared by the leaf, that is also going to be transported to the different parts. That's why these two tissues are there in the plant for the complete conduction. Now one by one we are going to study about the conduction, their part and how they are going to work. So first start with the xylem. You can also study it in the comparative manner so that you can easily understand. So one side I will write xylem and one side I will write phloem. Now, how these tissues are going to work? So first, let's see whatever the elements which makes the xylem. That means the cells which helps in the formation of the xylem. So let's start the elements which makes the xylem. So first elements which makes the xylem, that is the tracheate. Second one is the vessels, then xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. That means these four cells are going to form the complete xylem tissue. So let me write the names. First is the, what I told you, tracheates. vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. Now, these 4 different types of cells are present in the xylem, and this perform the different function. So first, the tracheids. Now, how tracheids help? So tracheids are generally elongated, hollow, dead cells. It is hollow and dead cell because xylem, it is mainly made up of the dead cell. So if you want to see the structure roughly, I am going to draw. It is just like this, with having the tapering end. They are having the tapering end, and they are having the dotted structures like this. Okay, so xylem, the main element of xylem is the tracheids, which is dead, elongated. And one more important thing, it is lignified. That means the cells are lignified. Outer covering of the cells is made up of a substance. They are having a deposition of substance that is known as the lignin. And because of the presence of this lignin, it is known as the lignified cells. Now, what these cells are doing, they are just help in the absorption. Now, the second part, is the vessels. Vessels, it is a tube like structure. It is just this type of structure, and they are having some pits are there, and they are just forming the pipeline. They are the pipeline structures, and they are forming end to end. एक से दूसरी, दूसरी से तीसरी ऐसे जुड़ी हुई होती है, and they connect. What they are doing? They connect root to the shoot. That means vessels का क्या काम है? ये roots को shoot से connect करती है. That's why the water and minerals are going to be transported. If there is no connection, so how transportation is possible? So these two are the main element. What these are? These two are the main element. Now, the another function of these two other parts, xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. So xylem parenchyma, it is the living cell. Okay, and what is the function of this cell? It helps in the storage of food. That means the food is stored in the xylem parenchyma. Now the next one is the xylem fiber, and xylem fiber, it provides mechanical support. Now I think you all understand the elements of xylem. That means there are 4 main elements which makes the xylem tissue: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, xylem fiber. These two, tracheids and vessels, these two are the main element which helps in the main conduction of the water and minerals, and these two, these are performing the other function, because the xylem parenchyma, it is made up of living cells and it stores the food. What is it is doing? It stores the food, and xylem fiber, it provides mechanical support. Now you all are understand? Okay.